Hey everybody, welcome to the show. And today I get to hang out with my buddy Tequia
Right.
Burt.
Woo!
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
She
I'm
is
so excited to be here.
she's ready. She's ready. Like we're
Ready.
about to
She
we've
ready,
been
y'all.
already. We already had a whole interview that we didn't record. What's up with that now? That's lost in the annals of history now.
It's true.
All right. So Tequia, you're the ex-editor in chief at LinkedIn Marketing, the LinkedIn Marketing blog. Um, Also the LinkedIn Collective. Also, the senior content marketing manager. This is in the past, and a Drum Award winner. So, once again, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here, and it's so good to see you, Johnny.
It's so good to see you. It's been a cool reconnect, man. Every once in a while, you get to reconnect with someone. We hadn't talked in many years,
Many.
um, but man, I'm feeling energized at this point, right? Like Takia, your career. I mean, you've had a career in media. Um, you've had a pretty big switch that happened where you exited media and moved into LinkedIn. We're going to talk about all that. But the first thing that I'd like to hear is just something that most people don't know about you.
So I think, well, I feel like people either know this or they don't. So I am a huge gardener. I live in Chicago, and most people don't think of Chicagoans as gardeners, but I have a huge garden. This year I grew tomatoes, I grew peppers, I grew greens, collard greens, kale, Swiss chard, I
Yeah,
grew
baby.
cucumbers, beans, all sorts of herbs, bay leaves. Currently, I have a couple of crocks of hot sauce fermenting in the basement, and I'm drying
Yep.
peppers because it's harvest time. So that is something that brings me back to center and that I enjoy so much to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, our first call, our first video call that we had was in your garden. So I actually
I
got
know.
to hang out with you in the garden, which was
I
pretty
know,
cool.
right? I have the best garden too.
Yeah. No,
It's
it's dope.
beautiful.
Now, how hot is the hot sauce?
Well, I have kids, so
Okay.
I can't make it super hot. I used a lot of cherry bomb peppers. I used a mix of cherry bomb peppers, I don't know, I'm gonna totally butcher the name of this. Cachua peppers. They're like people use them for sofritos, like
Yeah.
Cubans and Peruvians, I think. And Fresno chilies, cayenne. So it's not mild, but it's
Yeah.
not super hot. It's not like ghost pepper hot or anything like
Okay.
that.
Okay, good. So I could probably partake then. I
Yes.
could do I could do the spicier side of things, but it just
Yeah.
gets less and less fun for me
Yeah,
the
I
hotter it
I
gets.
feel you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
used to
like
be
the
able to eat a
fun.
lot more hot stuff.
Yeah. 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 And the guts, man. My 50-year-old guts.
Right?
They're
For
not what they
real.
used to be.
Can't do it.
uh, so can you tell us a little bit about your media origin story?
Yeah, so my whole career has sort of lived at the intersection of journalism, marketing, and storytelling, right? Using media not just to inform, but to help people in their careers and to help people understand each other. Because I feel like at its best, media really builds empathy, right? It helps people see themselves in each other sort of more clearly. And that's what's driven me from day one. And I actually got my start in media at B2B Magazine in the mid aughts. It has been shuttered. It is no longer around. It was an Ad Age publication that was sort of um, taken over by Ad Age and folded it into that magazine. And that is fun fact where I first met you, Johnny.
Yep.
You were our data Joe. I think you were our account manager, right?
Yeah, I was in sales. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, right. And so I used to talk to Johnny all the time. But the thing that was great about BB Magazine is it gave me kind of a front row seat to the marketing world. I got to meet CMOs, covering campaigns, learning how brands build their image and credibility and how they communicate values. And it's also where I started covering this new platform called LinkedIn long
Yeah.
before it became what it is today. Um, and in a way, that was the beginning of a relationship that sort of came full circle years later because fast forward a few years, like you said, I eventually joined LinkedIn. And one of the things that was really cool was to see a company that I'd covered so much because LinkedIn, I mean, let's face it, is pretty important in the
Yes.
B2B media and marketing world. And so to see sort of the inner workings and see how everything got put together was really cool.
how the sausage is made,
How the
as they
sausage
say.
is made, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, while I was there, I led the storytelling. I led storytelling for LinkedIn Marketing Solutions. I
Yep.
led research initiatives such as the B2B Marketing Benchmark Report, the Collective, doing interviews just like this with people, Johnny.
Yeah.
And they were all sort of focused on helping marketers build trust, creativity, and influence on LinkedIn.
Yeah. And a lot of the work that you did there seems like it was data driven work. So that's one of the
Yeah,
things I think off
totally.
camera you said that you appreciated was that you now had access to this incredible data set. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's true. That was it was very strange for me, right? Going from the media world as a journalist into the belly of the beast, right? You're like the church and state line was definitely crossed, right? But that work really shaped how I see media today. Because one of the things that LinkedIn, you know, gave me the ability to do is to explore things that I couldn't
Yeah.
at media companies, mainly because of budget, right? LinkedIn has a lot of money and was able to like turn sort of these big ideas into actual things, right? And also about creativity, right? They let me do things creatively that I don't think I would have been able to get away with at a media company, right?
Yeah.
So doing sort of that brand journalism at LinkedIn because I did a lot of work with Ipsos and with our own internal data because our data team to create content, to launch research reports, to write stories, right? And so what I learned it's at LinkedIn is it's even though, you know, the reach was massive, right? Millions of followers on our social channels and the blog. But it's not only about reach, it's about resonance, right? Reach matters, but only when it's sort of built on empathy, right? When you sort of listen deeply to your audience, reflect on people's truths, connect ideas, right? That move industries forward. And that's how you can build influence that lasts. And that doesn't matter if you're a brand or a media company.
Yeah. All right. So that's now you're just taking us deeper behind deeper into the book, right? Like the book of Tequia. So, um, I've heard you say that. So you said reach matters, resonance matters more. And then you talked about the importance of empathy, right? Empathy is part of what creates resonance, and then you tied that to creating a brand that lasts, or I can't remember how
Right.
you said that, but maybe sustainable influence, something
Right.
like that. You said.
Hmm.
Now, how did that develop? That idea, right? Like, which seems central to how you look at journalism. How did that develop inside of you?
So I feel like one of the things that I'm really, really good at, I'm always interested in knowing the why behind things, right? From early in my life, right? And so I always wanted to know why are people doing what they're doing or why is this happening in the way that it's happening. So I really think I'm very good at turning complexity into clarity, right? Um, I love taking something sort of abstract like data or trends or strategy and turning that into a piece of content or a story that people actually want to read and consume and share. And that I think comes from journalism, right? Finding the signal in the noise, the yellow brick road that are going to lead people to the real story, right?
Yeah,
So when you do that, when you connect with people and you build that empathy with people because they see that you care about their story, they see that you care about their struggles, the problems that they're having, the challenges that they're trying to fix. Excuse me, and that builds empathy and trust, right? They're going to turn to you when they don't trust anyone else. So I think that's really important, and why I mean empathy is important for other reasons, but it also helps sort of brands and media connect with their audience because it signals that they we actually care about you.
yeah. So just in my 2 years of doing this, I don't think I've heard anybody make the connection between empathy, storytelling, and trust. Right. So I have heard people talk about trust. Like I think
Hmm.
most media outlets are the media outlets that are the most self aware understand that their currency is trust.
Hmm.
right? And it's and to your in your wording, reach matters, but resonance matters more. I think
Hmm.
they do understand that they need to resonate and they need
Right.
to build trust. And if people don't trust them, they don't have a business.
Right.
But the idea of empathy. So how does empathy play into building trust? Can you talk about the relationship between
Hmm.
those two ideas?
So, I mean, think about it. I mean, the thing that people, I think, everyone has main character syndrome. Everyone
Yeah.
wants to put themselves at the center of the story, right?
Yeah.
But that isn't always what's helpful for other people. Of course, your own story is important to you, but everyone has a story, right?
Yes.
And being able to understand that and to decenter yourself and to center what your audience wants. And that includes being empathetic to what they want, right? Because if you don't care and it's just about making money, making that money
Yeah.
or hawking your product, people are going to sense that. They're going to say, you're not trying to help me, you're trying to sell something to me.
Yeah.
So being able to be empathetic to
Hmm.
how people operate during their day to day at work, at home, and finding that connection to what it is you do and what it is you can do to help them, I
Yeah.
think is really powerful.
Man, that theme, there's such a powerful theme underneath that. And I've heard other people speak to that theme. There's a book called The Go-Giver. Have you
Hmm?
heard of that book?
No.
Um, Bob Berg and John David Mann. It's a business book. It's a
Hmm?
parable,
Yeah.
but it basically, and shout out to Bob Berg. I've gotten to interview him also. This is incredible, incredible man. This is a best-selling book. And it talks about others doing business in an others-centered way and how doing business in an others-centered generous way
Hmm?
and actually being a little radical about that
Right.
is the best is actually the best and most effective way to do business.
Yeah.
And I hear that, right? What you're essentially saying is people can sense when you're communicating with them to help yourself
Right.
versus communicating with them to help them.
Right.
And I'm going to have more openness, right? I can sense if you are proceeding with empathy or
Right.
care.
Yeah. People aren't dumb.
Yeah, no. If there's
People,
anything we can sense, it's that. We can sense that,
right. People
right?
can smell fakeness a mile away.
100%. 100%. This person's a used car salesman.
Right.
Apologies to any car salesman in the audience. You might be awesome, but the
Right.
general consent, like the general sense that people get from the used car
Right.
salesman is, you just want to sell me a car. You don't care about me.
Right. And how do you come off as not being a car salesman as you are empathetic to a person's challenges and needs
Yes.
and wants? And if
Yes.
it's fake, they'll figure you out.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
dope. But then then taking that and applying it now to storytelling,
Mhm.
journalism, and
Yeah.
storytelling is a new thought experiment for me, because I think I understand it, but I don't know that I've ever talked with somebody about this specific topic.
Yeah, I
Um,
feel like it's something, and then we talked a little bit about this before before the interviews,
yep,
before we weren't recording all the good stuff.
yep, all the good stuff.
But I do think that there are some things that I think marketers and journalists can learn a lot from each other. And what you're struggling with is, I think, journalists are supposed to be non-biased arbiters. We're not supposed to take anybody's feelings into account. We're supposed to just look at the data and tell the story, right?
Yeah,
But that's, I think, one of the reasons that people don't trust whatever people are calling mainstream media these days, or have
yeah,
problems with media, is because they don't understand why you're focusing on this and not something they actually care about, right? So if you take the approach in media of starting with your audience and starting with what they want to know and then looking at the data, you're going to have a much more resonant story. People are going to connect with that a lot more and maybe want to know more, right?
yeah,
Than they otherwise would have.
yeah. Do I hear any of the influence of Donald Miller, like story brand
No.
framework?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'll keep throwing, but but maybe
It's
that's
all
just because
me, baby.
the wisdom, the well of wisdom is deep. Donald Miller, How to Build a Story Brand, talks about how you who are selling something, or you who are telling a story, you who are creating an article, are the guide, not the main character. Right?
Right.
You're not the protagonist.
Yeah.
right? You are the wise mentor,
Exactly.
right?
Right.
Right. And so then if you posture yourself, most people in their marketing posture themselves as the protagonist,
Right.
right? Buy
Mm-hmm.
my stuff because it's the best. We're
Right.
awesome. We're great. Nobody cares about how
Right.
many awards you won.
Right. Yeah. Instead of
Yeah.
telling people what you think they should know,
Yeah.
you should tell people what they want to know, or
Yes.
explain the why and what
Yes.
and how behind what it is they're wondering about.
Right. And make them the main character,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
You're the main character. I'm going to help you on your hero's quest. I'm going to help you be successful on your journey versus, hey, buy my product and make me more successful. It's like, okay, folks aren't going to have patience for that generally,
No.
or resonance. There
Right.
won't be resonance
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Stop putting yourself in the center and put your customers at the center and your audience at the center.
Yes. All right. So I think we've drilled down to the heart of how you do what you do, and I didn't even ask you what's your media superpower. That was one of my questions I was going to ask. What's your media superpower? You already told us
Well,
what
I
that
can
is.
keep going.
Yeah, keep going. Come on. How does it work?
So
Tell
I
me.
think I have I think I have this instinct for pattern recognition, right? And that's from my journalism side. And that's seeing where trends are headed before they fully take shape, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I think it's sort of, and you can see this kind of in the work that I did at LinkedIn with the
Yep.
research that I did. So I'm going to tell a little bit of a story about sort of how that came about. So when data and attribution became really widely available in B2B, because I worked in an era where it was not
Yeah.
that widely available. We overcorrected as an industry. We were so desperate to prove that marketing just wasn't a cost center, right? Or just fluffy, that we became obsessed with the numbers, right? And obsessed with what was measurable, right? Even when it wasn't that meaningful. And so
Yes.
we started serving dashboards instead of humans.
Mm-hmm.
We were, the truth was is that leadership has never cared about MQL volume. They care about
Mm-hmm.
business impact. They don't care
Mm-hmm.
about how many leads you got. They want to know how many leads you closed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And what they also care about is reputation and
Yeah.
trust. And
Yeah.
that's why at LinkedIn, and I think that 2024, you can start seeing this pattern in the benchmark that I did. That research found in 2024 that top performing marketers, and we used a lot of data from LinkedIn and a lot of data from Ipsos, is that the top performing marketers weren't just the most data fluent marketers. They were also creative, adaptable, and collaborative, and able to influence through narrative instead of just, here's the spreadsheet, sir. You know?
Yeah.
And then building on that, the next year, we launched a report called Trust is a New KPI, which kind of showed that most marketers, the majority of marketers, see trust as a single most important driver of growth.
Yeah.
And those two research projects sort of confirmed what my instincts have been telling me for like years and years. And that is that the future belongs to marketers and media, because I think all of this, applies not just to marketer, but media professionals, is that,
Audience developers. Yeah.
yeah, is that people who can balance head and heart, right? That's who the future belongs to, are those marketers, not just to optimize, but to translate the value, right, of what you're doing. And I think a lot of marketers didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think, my superpower is sort of, I take data patterns and complexity and I translate them into meaningful things, right? That
Yeah.
people can
Yeah. Yeah.
act on. They're not just numbers anymore.
Yes. Yes. That's a powerful gift, right? Because it's just, and I think we've all experienced this, right? Like I get this, let's say I have somebody come in and evaluate my business or something like that, and I get this crazy, or I have somebody do an SEO audit or something like that, and then I end up with all this information, all these numbers, and great,
Yeah,
and
right.
I'm no better off
Yeah.
because I'm reading this report with all these numbers and maybe some recommendations, but I have no idea what to do next.
Yeah, like what do these numbers
Right.
mean? And what did
Yes.
I do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, tell me the story. What's the
Right.
story? Tell me the story of
Exactly.
my brand. Tell me what I'm doing well. Tell me
Mhm.
what I'm not doing well. Like, talk to me about it. Make it tangible for me so I can do something with it. And I think a lot of times we leave that gap
Yeah.
between the person who wants the value and the story that needs to be told, and then just the data over here, right? That story. So you're
Right.
a storyteller. You
You have
connect
to
the two.
connect the dots for
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
and I don't think, and that's what, marketers could learn from journalists,
Yeah.
right? Is learning how to
Yeah.
tell that good
Yeah.
story and learning how to connect dots for people. So,
Right. And you're uniquely qualified to make that statement because you came up through journalism,
hmm?
right? And then came into marketing, the conjoinment of marketing and journalism at the same time. That was what the job was, right?
Yeah, I actually, the brand journal, like I still consider myself a journalist, right? Even the work that I was doing at LinkedIn, I considered brand journalism because one of the, cool things about working at LinkedIn was that I had access to all this data, right? And all these facts and things. And they let me run with that. They let me be a journalist at LinkedIn, which was really great. I didn't have
Yes.
to tell a manufactured story. So that was one of
Yeah.
the things that I really liked about working at. So I had all this money where I could
Yeah.
do really creative things. And
Yeah.
they weren't telling me that I had to, I mean, of course, there were certain points that we wanted to emphasize, right? But there was never a point where, you know, I had to tell a manufactured story like that. I let
Yeah.
the data lead me.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see you were like a kid on Christmas morning, like with you've got some
Hmm.
autonomy to
Yeah.
create, to be creative.
Right.
You've got all this data that's
Hmm.
just waiting for the story to be told. I know. I mean, I can see you lighting up about that. That was dope. And then you've got money and resource,
Right.
right, to think bigger and to be able to try things.
Yeah.
Um,
And I was
yeah,
able to do some amazing things. I
yeah,
mean, amazing things
yeah,
with that research. That research was super popular. And yeah, resonance matters, but that reach mattered too, because I was able to
yeah,
reach billions of people. So that
yeah,
was also
yeah,
really cool.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think my point to all this, I think, is that we need to elevate the standard of storytelling in B2B marketing and in media, right?
yeah,
To make it
yeah,
more human, make it more creative, and make it more inclusive and empathetic. B2B doesn't have to be cold or technical. It
right.
can be emotional and cultural and deeply human, right?
Yes.
And I don't know, because at the end of the day, it's all about people, right?
Yeah.
And I think this
Yeah.
becomes more important. And we also talked about this before we
Yes, we
started.
did. I know exactly where
It's
you're
like
going.
AI, it's like in an age of AI, right? Where,
Yeah.
you know, there are literal fake people, and people don't know who to trust. Being able to connect with your audience and earn that trust is becoming more important than ever, because people don't know who to trust. And right now, media is one of the people, or one of the institutions, right, that people are pushing back on. So, um, I think I told the story about the data and attribution, and so marketers overcorrected. So now
Mm-hmm.
media should not overcorrect
Yeah.
in this age of AI.
Yeah.
Being human, telling stories that are human,
Yep.
and
Yep.
being able to represent, like, realistically, right, to your audience is really important because in a sea of sameness that this AI is creating, you want to stand out, and the way to stand out is to not plug numbers into a computer or plug it into ChatGPT to tell
Yep.
a story. You
Yep.
know, you have to
Yeah.
be able to connect with people.
Yeah. And it feels like that's a little bit of the season or the age that we're in is understanding where to use AI
Yeah.
and what should be funneled down into AI, and then but which things to hold back from that
Right.
funnel.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's and so there is this season where folks don't know. It's just
Yeah.
like ChatGPT could do that. I just had let's say theoretically, I had an argument with my wife, and I'm gonna go to ChatGPT and be like, hey, ChatGPT, write me a script. Write me
Right.
a script on how to. It could do it. It could do it. Right?
Your wife
But it's
would know
like,
you
yeah,
would be like, nah, man.
yeah, not you're outsourcing your heart, bro. You're
Yeah,
outsourcing
right.
your
You can't do
marriage, bro.
that.
Like that's not wise. You know
Right.
what I mean?
No.
Like, right? You need to think about it and wrestle with it and grow so that right you can go and be the kind of person that can go in and make
Yeah.
things right.
Yeah. Right now it's real easy, right?
Yeah.
To not do anything, to
Yeah.
replace your literal brain with
Yeah.
AI, with ChatGPT. And I would
Yeah.
say don't do it because we can smell you
No.
a mile away. And
Yeah.
also, that's not how you're going to connect with people
Yes.
because humanity still matters. Empathy still
Humanity
matters.
still matters. Yes. 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 That's so good, man. Yeah. And again, it's tricky because there was like, well, efficiency matters and productivity matters and
Right.
all these other things matter. It's like those things do matter.
Sorry about that.
But
That's my
oh
sister
no, you're good.
calling. Okay,
No,
sorry.
you're
Go
good.
ahead.
But we thought maybe that we were moving past humanity mattering, maybe, right? And
Right.
that no, we're moving into something better than humanity.
Right.
And it's like it's still humans down here
Right.
that
I mean, listen, when anyone can generate content in seconds,
yeah.
authenticity becomes the true differentiator, right?
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Because you feel it. Because there's an exchange happening, right? Like what do you really have as a human on this earth? Time. You have a
That's true.
finite amount of time. That's
Yeah.
really what you got is time.
Yeah. Don't let
And
AI become your brain.
come on, like
Don't do
no.
it.
Right. But also there's a value exchange that happens. The human time for human time is seen as an acceptable value exchange. If you write me a whole if you use AI and write me a whole thesis on something and it's 40 pages and you've traded 10 seconds of your life to give that to me, I'm not going to trade if I catch on to that, am I going to trade the next 3 hours of my life reading the thing that you generated in 10 seconds?
Right.
That's going to make me mad.
Yeah. Right.
Because you're
Right.
valuing your time and your life above my time and my life, right? And you're
Yeah.
devaluing my time and
Yeah.
my humanity. That's the thing where people start to get their nose bent out of joint.
Yeah. I think people need to learn how to bridge these two things. I mean, because I'm not trying to say AI is not transformational and is
Yeah,
not going to do a lot of
right.
positive things, I think, for the
Agreed.
industry. But
Yep.
people have to learn how to use AI, make AI your assistant, right? And
Yeah,
not your
yeah, yeah.
brain. Figure
Yep.
out how to use AI where it's not doing work for you, but helping make your work better.
Yes.
I mean, that's
Yep.
the thing for me. Um, with AI, I treat it like an assistant. I almost never ask it to write anything for me.
Yeah.
I ask it. I like have conversations with AI
Yep.
mostly. I ask
Yep.
it for research things. I ask it for, I don't because I'm a better writer than AI.
There we go.
So I
And
don't
you're
need
you.
that.
And you're you. You're
Yeah.
right. Like, yes.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean it's a great tool, and I think will lead to all these things you talked about, right? Saves us time. Things that we used to take 2 days to do, we can do in 20 minutes. All those things are good things. We just have to learn not to overcorrect, right? And not
Yeah.
to, I mean, rely completely on AI to do the thinking for us, because what you think and what your perspective on something actually is important.
That's so good. And it's making me think one indicator of how I'm using AI. Let's play with this real quick. Is it making me more isolated,
Hmm.
right? Or is it giving me more opportunity to be in community? Right? Is
Right.
it is it am I having less humanity because of its
Hmm.
less human interaction, less humanity because of its influence in my life, or is it creating time for me to have more humanity
Right.
and more human interaction, right? And more reflection,
That's a
right?
great way to
More
look
depth of
at it.
soul.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I completely agree. Like, I think use AI to do the things that don't matter that much in the long run. Have it do the legwork for you, um, and then ask it how you can improve. I find that actually really valuable. What would you do to improve this?
Yeah.
Um, is something
That's a
like
great
that
question.
AI.
That's a great question. I like that. I
Yeah.
haven't tried that before. I might try that. Yeah, absolutely.
Also ask it, never trust AI either. You can ask it to fact check itself too.
Yeah.
Like, please fact check yourself. Is this actually
Yeah.
correct? What you're
Yeah.
saying to me right now?
Yeah. 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 That's another good tidbit, man. Like I like those practical
Hmm.
pieces of advice because I could go and do that tomorrow just in my use of it because we're all evolving in our use of the
Yeah.
technology.
We are
I mean,
like
I'm using the
on
technology.
we are during the trend, this is happening in real time right now.
Yeah.
We're in the
Yeah.
middle of it.
All right. So I love where this conversation has gone. So let me now ask a little bit. So the next question for you is, you've transitioned out of LinkedIn. Um, so what's happening now and what's next?
Okay, so let me think about this. So, here I have notes around what I'm doing next. So give me 1 second.
No worries at all. No worries at all. Yeah.
My
And
website's not done yet.
and as far as background, we haven't really covered this. So background knowledge is there was a round of layoffs at LinkedIn that affected you, right? So you find and but we all can see, man, how much you actually believe in what LinkedIn is doing, right?
Yeah,
And
I
and
do.
are a fan of who they are and what they're
Yeah,
what
and
they're
I
doing.
urge everyone after this interview to go check out the 2025 B2B marketing benchmark. It's really great stuff.
Yeah,
You can go to the
yeah.
marketing blog, and I think you'll find all the information still there.
It was your what they call it, your magnum opus.
Well, I have been pitching that thing
Yeah,
for years and
yeah,
years to different media companies, but no one ever had the money to do it.
yeah,
So when I got to LinkedIn, I was shocked. So I'd had these meetings with the comms team, then the data team, and I can't remember who else it was. And I was like, "What do you mean we don't use all this data we have, like
yeah,
in such a meaningful way? What?" As a
yeah,
journalist, I was like a kid in the candy store, and I
yeah.
was flummoxed. I was like, "What? What do you mean you don't?" And so I
You
started
said
working.
flummoxed. I just want to sit there for a minute. Flummoxed. Use it in context. Thank you, Takia. All right, go ahead.
I like good vocabulary words
That's a good
too.
word.
I
Yeah,
do. So I was able to, do this thing that I'd been thinking about for years, and I pitched it to our CMO at the time, and he was like, "Let's do it." So I was like, "Great." I thought that was amazing because I
yeah.
literally had been pitching that for years.
That's.
So
Can you give a little description of it, like what it is?
yeah, so basically we LinkedIn partnered with Ipsos, and we interviewed, I think it was 2000 marketers, 2500 marketers in 2024 and 2000 and 2025. And we asked them, I mean, it was a massive it's a
Yeah,
massive survey. We asked
that's
them
crazy.
basically about the state of the B2B marketing industry. So we asked them about budget, we asked them about skills, we asked them about what they were prioritizing as a business, how AI was impacting their businesses, what content marketing practices they were putting into place, what so it was a massive study. In the past, we did one a year. Um, Sadly, this year I had planned to roll it out over a new report every month. We were
Yeah,
able to, before I was tragically laid off
yeah.
in this round of layoffs, I was able to publish two. Trust is a new KPI, which talks exactly about what we've been talking about here and
Wow,
gives you real data and real numbers to back up what I'm
crazy.
saying.
Yeah,
And the one before was mostly about the skills that marketers needed to have to thrive both today and tomorrow.
yeah,
So I loved it. I think it's packed full of information that can help people in their day-to-day jobs, both practitioners and leaders. That's one of the goals that I had was to create a report that could be used throughout the marketing department from the very top to the very
yeah,
bottom. And I
yeah,
think we succeeded. So I really, yeah, no, I love, there's no hard feelings
yeah,
with LinkedIn. And
yeah,
there are, good things that they're still doing. But I will say that I was laid off in mid-August in 2025. Um, and I shared that experience. You can go check out my LinkedIn profile, but I shared about that experience. And it really struck a chord, especially with other Black women. I had lots of Black women flooding my DMs talking about it. And the truth is, our experiences aren't isolated. Uh, we lost in April of 2025, Black women lost 106,000 jobs, the largest monthly job loss of any group this year.
Yeah.
And by August, roughly 300,000 Black women had left their jobs or been forced out of the workforce. And for Black women, work has often meant more than just a paycheck. It's been tied to identity, stability, community. And when that's disrupted, it's not just a financial loss, it's really deeply personal, right? What is it that I could have done to avoid this situation? But for me, it was also freeing, right? That
Hmm.
experience kind of forced me to pause and ask myself, who am I when I'm not producing? Because I produced a lot. And they had me working. Like I was working a lot at LinkedIn. But that reflection brought me back to purpose. And that's helping people understand the world through storytelling, trust, and truth. Um, so one of the two main things that these reports showed that credibility and integrity aren't soft values, right? They're measurable drivers of business success. And so I'm going to take all that stuff I learned and I'm going to launch my own thing called the B2B marketing or the B2B influence lab. So stay tuned. You will be seeing more
What?
from me that connect, and it sort of will bridge marketing and media, and it's going to be great. It's going to
Wow.
be awesome.
Wow. Man, I mean, even just the story up to this point, and now this being a new chapter, very much seems to make sense. If we like open the book and flip through the headers, right?
Yeah.
And so you're heading into a new chapter, and you're starting your own company.
Yes,
Is that
I am. Where we're
yeah,
going to be exploring how trust, creativity, and influence are reshaping modern marketing. So there's going to be a media aspect of it, like
yep,
a new digital media platform,
yep, yep,
which hopefully I can grow into an event in a year or
yep,
two. And
yep,
then a creative services part of this
yep,
and a learning part of this. So stay
yep.
tuned, folks. There's going to be lots of good stuff coming out soon.
All right. So what I hear, because I like to listen for the thread that connects things, right? And so what I hear is you got to accomplish a dream, which is that last report that you did at
Yeah, I
LinkedIn.
love doing that. It was great.
You accomplished a dream. I mean, did you say something like 25,000 marketers, something like that, like answering these questions?
No, it
No, oh, I thought
2,500. But
2,500.
but the
Okay. Okay.
difference is that I partnered with Ipsos, right? So
Yep.
um I know that the data that I got was solid data.
Okay. Got it. Yep. So you got to do this thing, and this report, right? Like you care about resonance. So you're not just you're not here to just regurgitate numbers. You're
Right.
trying to create insight through
Yes.
storytelling about the state of the marketing world and how it's
Yes.
changing. So you
Right.
do this,
Yes,
and
exactly.
it's out in the world,
Mhm.
and I'm sure you learn the most of anybody,
I
right?
did. It
Because
was
you're behind the
great.
scenes.
It was
Yeah.
great. Like I had
Yeah.
never done anything like that before. I
Yep.
had done smaller versions of these
Yep.
in my time at media companies, but never where I was able to work with an entire team of researchers at a huge respected research company where I got to, you know, craft each and every question. Just think about each question.
Yeah.
Like every question. It was a very intense progress. This
Yeah.
would take anywhere from 6 to 8 months to do.
Yeah.
So, and it included having a
Massive.
full-time team at Ipsos to help us do this. So,
That's it's powerful. And so now you learn some things,
hmm,
right? You said you had some things that were in your gut that you
yeah,
were carrying with you,
right.
but now you have data around it.
Hmm,
And what I see you doing now is you're acting.
right.
You're acting on what you learned
It's what I want
Both
to
through,
do for people.
yes.
It's my
Yeah.
superpower.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So tell us a little bit about I wrote down your mission, helping people understand the world through storytelling, trust, and truth. Is that what you said? Did I say that right?
Yeah. Or
Okay.
how trust, creativity, and influence are reshaping modern marketing and media is another
Okay.
one you can say.
All right. So paint the avatar for me. Who's the person? Who's the person that you're speaking to their hearts? You talked before about connecting the mind and the heart, right? So
Hmm.
who's the person that you are empathizing with as you're doing these services?
Well, I think there have been a few other companies that have tried to do something like this, and they're usually either really good at the executive part or really good at the practitioner part. And I want to create something like I did with the research report, and that is create a place where everyone thrives, down to from the practitioner to the top levels. And I'm doing this through a few different ways. There are different entry points for people. Um, so because I have I plan on having an executive management, brand
Okay.
management service.
Yep.
Um, so executives who want to build trust, not
Yeah.
just at work, but personally, like personally and professionally. We'll have a media community that practitioners can use to help them do their jobs better every day and to learn what's happening in the industry. And we'll have courses aimed at both practitioners and leaders.
Okay. And when you say practitioners, we're talking about marketing practitioners.
Marketing practitioners, yes.
Okay. Is there relevance to the journalism industry in this at all, or
Yeah,
at
because
this
the
stage
media
or later
property
stage?
that I want to create a media property that's attached to it. I think one of the things that I've learned, because I think when you reached out to me 2 years, or not 2 months ago, I was like, never again will I work in media. I'll never do it. But since I have left LinkedIn, the people rallying around me are the media community. So it's not time to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? And I think some of the frustrations that I had with media not being able to be creative, and frankly, leadership not using empathy
Mm-hmm.
as a guiding principle,
Mm-hmm.
I felt kind of forced out. But, I am a journalist.
Yeah.
I am a media professional still.
Yes. Yes.
And so I want to create a media property, right? A digital magazine um, for B2B marketers.
That's right. So when you say B2B Influence Lab, under that, one of the things under that umbrella is this media property,
Yes. So it's the media
right?
property, it's the
Yeah.
executive management,
Yep.
it's training,
Yep.
and that's all she wrote.
Man, that is cool. So there's a services component
Yeah.
then, kind of a consulting services
Yeah. And
component.
I have a
And it's,
creative. So I already have. So before I started working at LinkedIn, so it's so unconventional how I even started working at LinkedIn. So I had my own company called Contented, which was basically um, for both media. I did journalism for media and like content creation for brands.
yeah.
And that's how I started working at LinkedIn. They hired me, my company,
Whoa, I didn't know
to,
that.
yeah, they
That's
hired my
wild.
company. Yeah. They hired my company to work for them. And I'd worked for them for about a year. And they pulled me in so much that I had to start letting go of other clients. And it was like I was working only for LinkedIn. And so they brought me in because it's funny because I was only hired to do very little, but like they caught on quick that I could do more.
Yeah.
And so they kept making me do more.
Yeah.
And so that's how I did not apply for a job at LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Just kind of I started working for LinkedIn because someone that I don't know if you knew him, but he worked at B2B marketing or B2B magazine with me,
Yeah.
Sean Callahan. He was a
Yeah.
journalist. He hired me to help him when he was the editor of the blog.
Yeah.
He was moved over when I first started working at LinkedIn. It was LSMS, so LinkedIn Marketing and Sales Solutions. So it was one division.
Yeah.
But when they hired me, they split off They split it into LinkedIn Marketing Solutions and LinkedIn Sales Solutions. And the guy who hired me, Sean Callahan, became the editor of the Sales Solutions blog. And
Okay.
then I became the editor for Marketing Solutions.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like I completely fell into this. It never occurred to me actually that I would be working for LinkedIn.
Yeah. But you live at this very interesting intersection between marketing and editorial, or marketing and
Mhm.
journalism, and you're applying the principles of each to the other. That's what it is.
Yeah,
You're
totally.
applying the principles of marketing to journalism and the principles of journalism to marketing.
You found me
In a
out, Johnny.
yeah, and in a sense, maybe showing us that they're not so different
They're not.
from each other.
They're not. I mean,
That's wild.
it can be done. You just
Yeah,
have to lead with empathy, center your audience, right? And talk
yeah,
about the things they want to hear about in a
sure,
in a way that has integrity and it's truthful.
yes. Right, because integrity and truthfulness don't belong to journalism exclusively, as if only journalism
No.
can hold those.
Right.
Marketing's only stronger if it is also
Exactly.
done with integrity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Again, you
Right?
found me out. And
Dang.
that is something that I hold dearly actually.
Yeah.
What you just said.
That's crazy. Okay. Okay. All right. So as we come to a close, as we kind of come to the end, man, I feel like I could go another hour, to be honest, Tequia, but time will not allow it. Uh, so I always like to talk about doors, keys and doors, right? Like, I'm a community builder. I'm a super connector. I love using my keys to open doors for other people. Many people have used their keys to open doors for me. Like I have a great awe and respect for how much progress can be made if we have a spirit of generosity towards each other and we just open doors for each other, which we could do, right? So who would you like coming across your doorstep? Like you've told us a little bit, like your big dream now I can see is to create this business, which I did not know when we first reconnected that you were heading this direction. I didn't know if you're going to head for another job or right, but you're about to, business owner. Like
Yeah, I'm
that's
tired
what
of
you've
working
done in
for
the past.
man. I'm going back to being a business owner because
Yeah,
LinkedIn. It's funny because I had no interest in working for the man
yeah,
when I started working for LinkedIn. No
yeah,
interest.
yeah, yeah. But it was just too good of an opportunity, right? Like,
Yeah,
gosh, what you got to experience
I know.
there.
It was great. I traveled all
Yeah,
over the world. Like I
yeah,
met some of my idols. But the one thing I've learned is that the relationships that you create, no matter where you are the most meaningful thing. Because look, I haven't talked to you in years.
yeah.
I met you in like 2005, I think.
It was
I don't
back
remember
in
when
the
it
days.
was.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah,
back in the day.
yeah,
Um, and all the people who have rallied around me, um, after I got laid off, it's been those relationships that I've built over the years. So,
yeah, yeah,
don't sleep on that. And it's also about, and I mentioned this before, after I got laid off, Black women rallied around me. One of the things that was one of my favorite things to do at LinkedIn is every year, and I did this immediately upon getting the editor job title, created a list of Black women to watch.
yeah,
And, every year I came out with a new round of folks. And every year I got so much gratitude and love from the ladies that I featured on this list. I still get gratitude and love from these ladies after I've
yeah,
been laid off. They have been the one to say, I heard about this. You need to check this out. And it's
yep,
creating that kind of community that's going to lift you up when you need it the
yep,
most.
yep.
So,
Gosh, man, there's what's more powerful than that?
yeah,
There's just so much power in
when you
that.
give it back, when you give it out, it comes back to you. I do believe in
Yes, it
karma.
does. Yep. No, I've experienced a lot of that for myself. So practically speaking, in the stage that you're in,
Hmm.
what kind of needs do you foresee in the short term
For my
or long term?
business.
Yeah, business for your dream,
Yeah,
to
so
accelerate the dream.
relationships is an important part of this, right? Because I'm going to be a solo founder. And so the relationships that I built with creative people, I think are
Yeah,
going to be really important.
yeah,
When I launch this business, the relationships that I've created with researchers, I think, is going to be really important in this venture. So for me, it's about getting people involved in what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And how? So for people watching, right? Again, this is going to be media leaders
Yeah.
primarily,
I'm
and
gonna I'm gonna interview people, like I'm gonna start a podcast very much like this one. I would love
yep.
for people to contribute their perspectives for me on the new site that I launch. I would love for people to participate in this new venture in any
Got it.
way they can.
Yes. All right. That's good. Well, y'all
Consume
heard it
it,
here.
subscribe to
Yeah.
my newsletter. Go,
Yep.
go subscribe to my businesses on LinkedIn. Go follow me
Yep.
on LinkedIn so you can
Yep.
still find out about all this stuff. Those are the things that, you can do for me, Johnny.
That sounds good. All right. So you can share links with me and then even some of the links that you mentioned, like to that research report where people
Yeah.
can get a sense
Again, everybody go
your
check it
passion
out.
project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody go check it out.
Yeah. Oh man, this was very fun.
Super
Takia,
fun.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for spending time with me today.
Of course, anytime, Johnny. It was super fun. I
That
enjoyed
was
every second.
it was fire. It was fire. There's a lot of nuggets in there. There's a lot of we took a meandering path,
We
but
did
there's
take a
like
meandering
all these
path.
gold nuggets like just buried along that road,
It's like
and
we
it's
had a full
good.
interview before we started filming.
That's what it is, right? That's what it is. I mean, I should do that every time. And for anybody who's still with us to this point, thanks for joining us for this episode, and we will see you next time. Take it easy, everybody.
Peace. Thanks for having me.